Proverbs chapter 28 in the King James Version, followed by the Amplified Bible. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. For the transgression of a land many are the princes thereof, but by a man of understanding and knowledge the state thereof shall be prolonged. A poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a sweeping rain which leaveth no food. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Lord understand all things. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is a companion of riotous men shameth his father. He that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. Whoso causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit, but the upright shall have good things in possession. The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that hath understanding searcheth him out. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory, but when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy. Happy is the man that feareth alway, but he that hardeneth his heart shall fall into mischief. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. A man that doeth violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. Let no man stay him. Whoso walketh uprightly shall be saved, but he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that followeth after vain persons shall have poverty enough. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. To have respect of persons is not good, for a piece of bread that man will transgress. He that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him. He that rebuketh a man afterwards shall find more favor than he that flattereth with his tongue. Whoso robbeth his father or his mother, and saith, It is no transgression, the same is a companion of a destroyer. He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in the Lord shall be made fat. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. He that giveth unto the poor shall not lack, but he that hideth his eyes shall have many a curse. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. The wicked flee when no one pursues them, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. When a land does wrong, it has many princes, but when the ruler is a man of understanding and knowledge, its stability endures. A poor man who oppresses and exploits the lowly is like a sweeping rain which leaves no food. Those who set aside the law of God and man praise the wicked, but those who keep the law of God and man struggle with them. Evil men do not understand justice, but they who long for and seek the Lord understand it fully. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than he who is crooked and two-faced, though he is rich. He who keeps the law of God and man is a wise and discerning son, but he who is a companion of gluttons humiliates his father and himself. He who increases his wealth by interest and usury, excessive interest, gathers it for him who is gracious to the poor. He who turns his ear away from listening to the law of God and man, even his prayer is repulsive to God. He who leads the upright astray on an evil path will himself fall into his own pit, but the blameless will inherit good. The rich man who is conceited and relies on his wealth instead of God is wise in his own eyes. But the poor man who is understanding, because he relies on God, is able to see through him. When the righteous triumph, there is great glory and celebration. But when the wicked rise to prominence, men hide themselves. He who conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but whoever confesses and turns away from his sins will find compassion and mercy. Blessed and favored by God is the man who fears sin and its consequence at all times. But he who hardens his heart and is determined to sin will fall into disaster. Like a roaring lion and a charging bear is a wicked roar over a poor people. A leader who is a great oppressor lacks understanding and common sense, and his wickedness shortens his days. But he who hates unjust gain will be blessed and prolong his days. A man who is burdened with the guilt of human blood, a murderer, will be a fugitive unto death. Let no one support him or give him refuge. He who walks blamelessly and uprightly will be kept safe, but he who is crooked, perverse, will suddenly fall. He who cultivates his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows worthless people and frivolous pursuits will have plenty of poverty. A faithful, right-minded man will abound with blessings, but he who hurries to be rich will not go unpunished. To have regard for one person over another and to show favoritism is not good, because for a piece of bread a man will transgress. He who has an evil and envious eye hurries to be rich, and does not know that poverty will come upon him. He who appropriately reprimands a wise man will afterward find more favor than he who flatters with the tongue. He who robs his father or his mother and says, "This is no sin," is not only a thief but also the companion of a man who destroys. An arrogant and greedy man stirs up strife, but he who trusts in the Lord will be blessed and prosper. He who trusts confidently in his own heart is a dull, thick-headed fool, but he who walks in skillful and godly wisdom will be rescued. He who gives to the poor will never want, But he who shuts his eyes from their need will have many curses. When the wicked rise to power, men hide themselves. But when the wicked perish, the consistently righteous increase and become great.